All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going deep, really deep, into just one single verse from the Quran. It's from Surah Ar-Raʿd, and it is absolutely packed with meaning. We're going to unpack it piece by piece to see how it draws this incredible line from the vastness of the universe right down to our own personal responsibility.
So this is it. This is the verse that's going to be our guide for this entire journey. It starts with this incredible image. It is Allah who raised the heavens without pillars that you can see, then He established Himself above the throne. Wow. Right away, you're hit with this majestic cosmic scale, aren't you? We're talking about the divine throne, the sun, the moon. It's like the verse is setting this giant, grand stage for the powerful ideas that are about to unfold.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First up, we'll get into the verse and what the throne really means. Then, we'll look at the universe in all its order. After that, we'll connect it all to the cycle of change in our own lives. And finally, we'll see how everything points to the idea of a day of reckoning. Simple enough, right? Let's go.
So let's jump right into that first really powerful image the verse gives us. God establishing Himself above the throne. I mean, what does that actually mean? What are we supposed to picture here?
The key word we need to lock onto here is arsh. Now, that's the Arabic word that's usually translated as the throne. But, and this is so important, the commentary is very clear on this point. We're not talking about a literal physical chair sitting up in the heavens. No, not at all. It's meant to be understood as a powerful symbol, a symbol of God's absolute authority, His complete control, and His all-encompassing knowledge over everything in creation.
So you've really got two ways of looking at this. There's the literal view, picturing this giant, majestic chair up in the sky. But then there's the deeper metaphorical meaning, which is what the classical tafsir or commentary really focuses on. And that view points to something way bigger. The arsh is, well, it's like the very center of God's dominion. It's the central hub, the nexus of all His power and His management of the entire universe.
Yeah, a great way to think about it is as the ultimate command center. It's not a place you can point to on a map, it's a state of being, a state of absolute authority and control. From this conceptual throne, all the laws, all the systems, the fate of the entire universe, it's all decreed and managed from there. So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. The Arsh is all about divine governance.
So this is where it all starts to connect. If the throne is the ultimate command center, right? Well, the verse doesn't just leave us there. It immediately gives us the proof, the evidence of that perfect governance. And what is that evidence? A universe that runs in flawless, perfect order.
And notice, the verse points specifically to the sun and the moon, which makes you wonder, right? Why those two? Are they just random examples of things in the sky? Or do they represent something much, much deeper about this whole divine system?
Well, it turns out they're not random at all. According to the commentary, they're incredibly precise symbols. Think about it. The sun represents a consistent, unwavering path. It follows its divinely commanded course without ever deviating. Then you have the moon, with its phases. It's a perfect symbol of calculated cycles and precisely measured time. You put that together with the constant back and forth of night and day, and what you get is a picture of a system that is purposeful, predictable, and just completely reliable.
So you see, this isn't just a basic astronomy lesson from the 7th century. The verse is holding up these astronomical facts and saying, look, these are signs, they're evidence. The big takeaway here is that the universe isn't just some random, chaotic mess. It operates on a set of unbreakable laws, and all of that is proof of the perfect order that comes from that divine throne.
And this is where things get really interesting. The commentary makes this amazing leap. It connects that massive, cosmic, physical order we just talked about to the moral and spiritual order that governs us, humanity. So how on earth does it make that connection? Let's find out.
Well, a little later in the very same chapter, Surah Ar-Raʿd, we find this absolute game-changer of a verse. It says, and listen closely to this, God will not change the condition of a people, whether that's their prosperity, their struggles, their place in the world, until they change what is within themselves, their inner state, their intentions, their actions.
I mean, that just stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? It brings up this massive question that people have wrestled with for, well, forever. So who's in the driver's seat? Is change in our hands or is it in God's hands? Is it our choices or is it divine will that shapes our destiny? And the answer that the commentary gives us is, well, it's not A or B. It's both. It's described as a kind of partnership. Divine intervention, that is the change in a community's outward situation,
is directly tied to, it depends on, our own internal transformation. What we do on the inside affects what happens on the outside. And boom, there it is. That's the core connection. Just like the sun and the moon are part of this perfect physical system of cause and effect, these verses are telling us that human society operates within a system too. Only our system is a moral and spiritual one. The cause? That's our inner state. The effect? That's our external condition. Our collective choices, our inner beliefs, they have real, tangible consequences in the world.
So let's just quickly recap. We've got a universe running on perfect physical laws, and we've got humanity running on a moral law of cause and effect. So where does all this lead? Well, it leads us straight to the verse's final and incredibly powerful conclusion: accountability.
Remember that very first verse we started with, verse 2? Well, it ends with a phrase, liqa rabbihim, which translates to something like the meeting with their Lord. And the commentary is crystal clear on what this means. It's talking about the day of judgment, that inevitable, final reckoning when every single person will be held accountable for what they did.
And here's the logic behind it, the crucial point the verse is making. The argument is that a universe built with this much flawless precision, with such perfect systems of cause and effect, it can't be for nothing. It can't be purposeless. All of this perfect order is being presented as the ultimate proof that there has to be a final, just conclusion, a point where the whole system finds its ultimate meaning.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, that one verse is actually a powerful, step-by-step logical argument. It's pretty amazing. It starts with the absolute authority of the divine throne. Then it points to the perfect cosmos as evidence. Then it connects that cosmic law to the moral law that governs our lives. And the grand finale? It concludes that a system this perfect absolutely demands a final day of judgment. So, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If we just accept for a moment that the physical universe runs on a perfect system of cause and effect, from planets orbiting stars down to the cells in our own bodies, what does that imply about the system governing our own lives? What does it suggest about the moral and spiritual laws that are tied to our actions, our choices, and ultimately, our destiny?